Hey everybody, Joan Zodianz here, and welcome back to another episode of Spiritual Zundayz. This week we're going to be talking about Mercury shifting into Scorpio, Mars shifting into Libra, and Pluto stationing direct. All right, so let's go in order. Pluto stations direct, which is still in Capricorn this Thursday, October 3rd. On the 4th, which is Friday, Mercury shifts into Scorpio. And then on the 5th, on Saturday, Mars shifts into Libra. So let's talk about what all of this means for you. Let's start with Mercury. So, Mercury influences our communication, our perception, our perspectives. So, right now it's leaving Libra and it's going into Scorpio. So, Scorpio is a fixed water sign. So, when we talk about a fixed water sign, we're talking about heightened intuition and sensitivity. So, when making decisions during this time, it's advised that you use your intuition. This is a great time to meditate and reflect on a decision too before you actually take action. You don't want to be impulsive during this time, okay? Also, don't second guess yourself. If you're dealing with a certain situation, it's a good time to realign your energy and to really write everything down, to narrow everything down. Scorpio, because it's a fixed water sign, likes to keep things in order. It likes to have that emotional control, it likes to keep things going with the flow, I guess, but at their own pace. Scorpios also like to internalize how they feel because they like to process everything first and kind of just again, meditate or deeply reflect on a certain situation, especially if it hits them emotionally. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Pluto is going direct on the 3rd. So it comes before Mercury shifts into Scorpio. And also keep in mind that Saturn has gone direct too, and it's also in Capricorn. So Pluto and Saturn are both in Capricorn. And this is hitting us financially. It's hitting our pockets. It's hitting our home lives. It's hitting things in our career and what we want to do for the future. Everything is starting to gain more clarity during this time. So apply Mercury and Scorpio to things that you want to do or build in the future. Make sense? Now, Mars is shifting into Libra on the 5th. Now, when we talk about Mars, we're talking about a planet that influences our physical drive, our aggression. We have a lot of cardinal signs because Libra is a cardinal air sign, meaning we're going to have lots of ideas that we want to fulfill, lots of goals that we want to fulfill. It can also bring imbalance because it's incompatible with Scorpio and with Capricorn, right? Because air and water don't get along naturally, and same with air and earth. So this can kind of throw a wrench in your plans too, especially if you're not the organized type. You may want to really, again, really just reflect on everything. I can't stress that enough. I tell people that all the time, but they like to just sit there and complain. If you're that type of person where you just sit there and you complain the whole time because you like listening to your own voice complain, then you need to check yourself. You need to check yourself. You need to get organized. You need to get productive. And you need to write everything down so you can see the bigger picture to things. And again, this isn't the right time to be impulsive. You want to kind of internalize everything. You want to kind of use your intuition to feel what's right for you, what gives you balance. Okay. This is also a time for more privacy and to keep things to yourself because Scorpio internalizes everything. They're going to internalize everything that's going on in their lives. You know what I mean? And this is also a time you need to watch out for people who might try to expose you or people that become very vengeful or jealous. Okay. If they have incompatible signs in Mercury, that could happen as well, or people using your secrets against you. And I'm not saying that's you need to be paranoid about it. It's more of just like watching out for people who can use things against you. So you may have to just shut the fuck up. Keep things to yourself. Work in silence. You know what I mean? If you're working on yourself, you're working on a project, you're working on a money deal, anything that has to do with your life that is life changing, keep that to yourself for now. Okay? Keep it to yourself. So let's go ahead and move on to Pluto. So Pluto again stations direct October 3rd, which is this Thursday, and it's in Capricorn still. To me, Pluto is the planet of regeneration, transformation, but it's also the planet of karma, right? So when we think about Pluto being in retrograde, we're talking about things that were from the past that were coming up to haunt you, or it was a lot of delays financially because it was still in Capricorn. So we had to deal with karma and paying back karmic debt so that we can move forward. And it's not too late to really, reflect on everything that's happened to you in the past year and just kind of, meditate on what's been causing blockages, especially when it comes to your money flow. And now that Mars is shifting into Libra, you're going to find that the scales have to balance themselves. It has to reset. Okay. So take this time to really, really, really reflect on everything that's been happening in the past year. Find out where these blockages are, see how you can make it right with yourself, or maybe you need to make it right with somebody else. You know what I mean? You want to release these blockages, you want to set them free, and you need to take accountability for the things that you've done. So, when it Pluto stations direct, I feel like we're going to gain again more clarity on what these karmic debts are, or what we need to do to transform our lives, right? Where we need to have a rebirth in our money, if that makes any sense. It can also apply not just to money, but to family relationships, people that are close to you that you consider family. So maybe they want to make it right with you, or you want to make it right with them. It really doesn't matter. Everything has to rebalance itself, everything has to reset itself so that we can move forward. Once we release these things, or once we find acceptance in the things that we couldn't control, that's when you're going to free up space. That's when you're going to free up energy so that you can get more stability in your life, whether it's going to be emotional stability, whether it's going to be physical stability, whether it's going to be financial stability. We want to make room for these things. We want to make room for abundance, right? And the only way we can do that is to really just clear everything negative out of our lives, right? And this doesn't mean you have to confront every single person that's hurt you within the past year. That's crazy. That's crazy. You don't want to just be firing off on people. You just want to find closure in yourself with these situations, okay? Maybe you do feel guilty enough to reach out to them, or maybe you do want to make it right with them, or make it right with yourself. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to approach them with it, but again, because Mercury is shifting into Scorpio, people want to be private, people want to internalize things, people are going to be up in their feels about things. They may not like your approach, they may not respond to it correctly, okay? So you need to watch out for that too. And one more thing. So Pluto station direct has a deep connection with Scorpio because it's its ruling planet, okay? Pluto is the ruling planet of Scorpio, is what I'm saying. And because Mercury is going to be in Scorpio, you can expect intense transformations from people, okay? Intense transformations. I mean, we're talking about somebody going from nothing to something overnight, right? An opportunity, especially when it comes to our money, might come to light. So everything hidden is coming to the surface. Everything in the dark is going to be lit the fuck up. Make sense? And not all transformations are going to be positive. Remember, Mars in Libra means we need to reset the scales of balance, of justice. So you may owe karmic debt during this time all at once. You may have to go through a spiritual awakening during this time, or you're wrapping up a spiritual awakening during this time too. Okay? So keep that in mind as you move forward in the week, to really just dive deep in your feels right now and to just release the things that have been blocking your money or blocking you from getting what you want. But it should be positive transformations for people during this time, or majority of people at least. And if not, it's because you owe that karmic debt and you just have to take accountability for it. Just be honest with yourself, all right? So I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for all your love and support. Remember, you guys can buy my energy natal charts, where I do an interpretation of your natal charts. Plus, you get a really neat art piece that you can hang on your wall if you're not too guilty about it. So I'll see you guys next week. Bye.